So it's Sunday the 19th of November and we are currently sat on a road in the Lincolnshire town of Gainsborough waiting to get access to the car park for the Gainsborough 10k road race this morning.
So it's been a while since we've posted any updates about our own running and training, so we thought this would be the ideal opportunity to bring to you where we are.
So I think it's going to be a reasonably long queue, so I'll just get you updated with where I am. So you last saw me 5 weeks ago, sadly dropping out of the Yorkshire Marathon at mile 16. Since then, the hamstring issue that plagued me then carried on for a week or two. I tried racing a park run, not clever, but last few weeks I've gradually built up to around 50 miles a week. I've done one speed session and the hamstring held up there, so today I'm just hoping to run a solid tempo run under 7-minute miling for this flat one loop 10k road race will do me this morning.
As for me, most of you will know that I did a marathon 4 weeks ago, Abingdon Marathon, so I hope I've recovered from it. I did pick up a niggle just over a week ago in my calf, which I nursed through. I've not done anything specific in terms of running. I've allowed my body to heal and I've allowed myself to feel recovered from the marathon. So I do feel recovered, but I don't know obviously where I'm at in terms of speed, because I've not actually done any kind of speed work or any kind of specific running. So this is about finding out where I am post-marathon recovery. So we finally parked up, getting the shoes on, racing shoes. So
And what have you chosen today, Dawn?
I've got the Alpha Fly.
I've got the Takumi Sen 8.
Ugh. It's always hard getting your shoes on. Number time. Smallest pins ever. We've got to help him find his pins. Don't know where the toilets are yet. What? Am I stressed? Nah. Top off to reveal club sore vest. Don't know whether to wear armbands. So, number. Oh yeah. Has a club mate just gone past?
So I might carry a carrier bag to the start. They've asked people to bring items for a food bank and also any old unwanted race medals bling, because apparently they can collect them and turn it into helpful stuff.
So if you do come to do the Gainsborough and Morton 10k, make sure you leave plenty of time for parking and walking to the start. Pacers in this race, sub 40, sub 65, sub 60. I think you have 2 pacers per time bracket. Hiya, how are you doing? Yeah. And we're off. Here we go. Gainsborough and Morton 10k. Woo, woo, woo. Look at him, babe. See you later.
So the first part of the Gainsborough and Morton 10k for me. I think it's fair to say I set off with my legs feeling not as bad as I feared, but not as good as I hoped. I settled into a reasonably comfortable sub 7-minute miling for the first 5 kilometres. As you can see, country lanes, nice bit of shelter in the first couple of kilometres. You then turn a left, which you can see coming up here, and then the route became a little bit more exposed as we went into the open Lincolnshire countryside. But I was clipping off these kilometres in around 4:15 to 4:20 each. As you can see, there's plenty of people around, plenty of runners to work off, and Essentially a good solid first half of the race for me. You can see the 5k marker back to front here.
So the first half of the race for me went well. I started off feeling, okay, I can do this at 10k effort, and I ran at the first mile in 7:02. However, by the time I got to mile 2, I could just see a little slippage, and by the time I got to mile 3, I started to feel fatigue in my legs. So I realised that my actual pace was starting to slow, and that I wasn't quite able to reach the 10k effort that I was able to reach when I did the Knutsford 10k back in the 1st of October. Sub 45 pacers were around me for the whole of the race. In fact, they started just behind me because I set off in sub 45 pace, and then they went past me. For a little while I struggled to keep up with them, and they pulled away from me, and then I seemed to be able to get my act together again and catch them up.
So back to my race. After the 5k marker, my pace has started to slip a little. They went outside 7-minute miling and into the 420s per kilometre. I still felt okay, but my hamstrings started to feel a little bit tight, and I really didn't want to go through the gears at this stage and leave myself stranded at the end. Interesting to pass a nice family sat out here in the chairs, enjoying the race. Thank you to them for their support. What I was able to do was push on in the last kilometre and take it down to 4:02, or about 6 30-minute miling, for a good strong finish, and to finish just under 43 minutes on my chip time.
So in the second part of the race, I really had to work hard. I could see the sub 45 pacers pulling away from me. I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to get under 45 minutes. I could feel my marathon legs really starting to take effect. That, with the wind, was making it really difficult to keep pace. So I just kept focused on the sub 45 pacers and tried to keep with them for the rest of the race. I was proud of the way that I stuck at it, though, because when you see your watch, when you look at your watch and you see your time start to slip, it really does affect your mental approach to the race. But I thought, come on, Dawn, dig in. You can do this. You've got the experience. So, yeah, I stuck at it, and you can see that I had to give a massive surge, a sprint, to get over that line in the sub 45.
So the Gainsborough and Morton 10k completed. Solid training run for me, little sprint at the end. I think on the chip I'll just be under 43, under 7-minute miling, so job done.
Yeah, same here. I had to sprint at the end to get sub 45. I followed the sub 45 pacers, well, for most of the way. I wasn't following them, they just happened to be by me. And then they pulled ahead of me, so at the end I really had to put in a bit
yeah, it's a bit
effort.
deceiving. You see what you think's a finish clock,
Yeah.
then you turn, you've got another 100-metre sprint from there.
Yeah, legs were a bit heavy, post-marathon, but good workout.
Solid workout, nice course, yeah.
Yeah, a bit windy in places, but
Yeah, nice block to a couple of villages, can't complain.
yeah, no, well done. Gainsborough and Morton.
I think it's tape to tape, I think.
Tape to tape, oh, well done, tape to tape.
In association with Gainsborough and Morton and other running clubs in Lincolnshire. So I've had a few hours to reflect on the Gainsborough and Morton 10k road race. For me, a job well done. I said at the beginning I wanted to average under 7-minute miling, and that is exactly what I did. My average pace came out at 6:53. I'll put up on the screen what it is in kilometres. I haven't got it off the top of my head. So for me, I started off reasonably strongly. I was clipping along at 4:15, 4:16 per kilometre. I'll put my splits up on the screen. In the middle, I felt my hamstring started to twinge a bit, so I faded to 4:22 at kilometre 5, 4:26, 4:25. Picked it up at the end, back to the 4:15s, and the last kilometre had a bit of a surge just to test it out, and did a 4:02. After the race, it felt a bit sore, but it held up okay at what I hope is around half marathon effort. On that, my race was 1 minute slower time today than at Knutsford 10k, which was 6 weeks ago, I believe. Basically, my heart rate wasn't as high today as at Knutsford. Had I run as hard as at Knutsford, I'd probably have run high 40 minutes, which is good, because I'll tell you about our upcoming target after Dawn's explained about her race.
Yes, so for myself, on Monday, I gave myself a 10% chance of actually starting this race. The reason being because on Sunday when we were out for a long run, I had a twinge in my calf that actually ended up being quite painful, and I've had to nurse it all week. I've given it some intensive therapy during the week. I've used an ultrasound machine on it. I've wore a calf sleeve. I've reduced my running. I didn't stop totally, but I only ran between 1 and 3 miles on the treadmill, which is a soft surface, and I kept the pace really slow. And by Friday I went out for my first outdoor run and actually didn't have any pain whatsoever, although there was a little bit of soreness in the calf. And then yesterday nothing at all, absolutely fine. And so then today I found myself starting the race, which is brilliant really, because as I said, 10% chance on Monday and today 100% chance. So yeah, so the race itself, I expected to feel a little bit leg heavy, having only done the marathon 4 weeks ago. I have recovered quite well. But what I found is that by the time I got to 3 miles, I felt fatigue in my legs. And although when I set off, I felt I was at the right effort, by the time I got to 3 miles, my pace started to slip slightly. I could see the sub 45 pacer pulling away from me. And my aim today was to try and just finish under 45 minutes. But it required an almighty sprint at the end, actually. Well, I gave an almighty sprint, but I probably would have done it anyhow. So quite pleased with my effort. My heart rate was actually as high as it was at Knutsford. And my max was even higher because of the sprint. So yeah, so I finished in 44:39. I was 4th female, 55, which is unusual, but they were really strong female 55s today, so well done to them. So yeah, so a solid run basically.
So how does this race fit into our overall training from here? We have got the Telford 10k coming up in 3 weeks time, so we've been doing a couple of 10k type sessions. We're going to continue doing those and put them together a nice little video package on 6 sessions you can do for 10k training, so watch out for that one coming. So the Telford 10k, we did it last year, didn't cover ourselves in glory. There's 3 waves to the race. The first wave is really fast people, 32 minutes and under, I think. The second wave, which we found ourselves in, is billed as 33 to 41 minutes, but we also thought for Dawn to qualify for England Masters she'd have to be in wave 2. She ended up dropping out because she was 3rd from last and not feeling great. I was 2nd to last, chasing her down. Then I had nobody to chase, so I finished 2nd to last in a time of about 44.5 minutes. So this year, Dawn's been sensible and entered wave 3. Me with my stubborn head on, has entered wave 2, where the advertised time range is 33 to 41 minutes. I've just said a minute ago, I could extrapolate a possible all-out time from today of just under 41 minutes, about 40:57. So that will give me a whole 3 seconds to get inside the cutoff for wave 2 at the Telford 10k. So plenty of margin for error there.
We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, we'd love you to do so.
If you enjoyed this race, we'll think you enjoy watching some of our 5k series from over the summer. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.